The bright light of the university hall is still dancing. Taehyung eyes widen. He walked out clutching his graduation certificate like it was the key to another world. His family had been so proud. His mom had cried and little Honey had waved a flower at him with both hands, but right now all of that joy was shifting into excitement for the next step. He had done it, graduated, and on top of that, secured a job at one of the most powerful companies in the city, Jeon Corporation. I still can't believe it. Jimin, walking beside him, smiled and shrugged his shoulder lightly. Jimin, of course, you dummy. You are brilliant and honestly, you charm the interview too much. You know that soft smile of yours, deadly. Taehyung laughed and shook his head. Taehyung, it wasn't charm. I just answered sincerely, that's all. Jimin, whatever you say, but now that you are done with school and tomorrow you start working at one of the biggest companies, you owe me a celebration. Taehyung tattled his head, pretending to think. Taehyung's celebration, or do you want an excuse to drink? Jimin grinned. What? Jimin, both. Come on. There's a hotel bar downtown, fancy enough for your new title, Mr. Jeon, Corp employee. Thanks the glass in his hand, staring at the golden liquid inside. The bar was not too crowded, but just busy enough to keep him from leaning. Lonely music plays soft, the kind that seemed to wrap around his thought. When his eyes wandered, they stood at the man sitting 2 seats away. Dark hair, sharp jawline, a presence that didn't need noise to be noticed. They took a deep breath, debating from a moment before sliding closer to him. Oh, drinking alone? Jungkook glazed up his lips, twitching slightly. Jungkook, I couldn't ask you the same thing. Taehyung chuckled, resting his elbow on the counter. Taehyung, I get that makes a first strange. Wasting a night. Jungkook, oh, not wasting, not anymore. The bartender brought another round, setting 2 glasses in front of them. Jungkook resting his drink slightly. Jungkook to stranger, Taehyung smiled. Clicking his glass softly to him to stranger, they talked slowly at the first word, careful like footstep on ice. But as the minute turned into hour, the distance between them fell. Taehyung, so Jungkook, right? Taehyung, yeah, and you are Taehyung. Taehyung, correct. You don't talk much to you. Jungkook shrugged, a faint smile covering his lips. Jungkook, only when I have something worth to say. Taehyung laughing, Taehyung, I'll take that a compliment then since you've been talking to me. For 2 hours, Jungkook eyes softened and amused. Jungkook, maybe it is. They spoke about music, favorite movie, little habits. Jungkook listened with quiet attention, and Taehyung found himself saying things he usually kept hiding, like how the city sometimes felt too big or how he liked Jungkook in turn admitted that he worked too much, that he didn't often let himself just sit and enjoy a night like this, and As the glasses empty, their laugh grow free. At some point, Taehyung leaned closer, his hand brushing Jungkook accidentally. The touch lingered longer than it should have. Taehyung, oh, I don't usually do this, talking to strangers. Jungkook, neither do I. The word hung between them, quiet but heavy. Jungkook eyes flickered to Taehyung's lips for the briefest second before returning to his gaze. Taehyung heart thumped. Taehyung, then maybe we can both make an expectation tonight. Jungkook didn't answer with words. Instead, he leaned forward, pressed his lips against Taehyung gently. They were teasing like they were both afraid to break whatever things had formed between them. When they pulled away, Taehyung let out a shaky laugh. Taehyung, that didn't feel like a mistake. Jungkook, it didn't. The night brought softly after that. They left the bar together, the cool air brushing their cheeks as they walked side by side. Neither said much, but their hand brushing again and again until Jungkook finally laid their fingers together inside the hotel room. They didn't rush. Instead, they sat on the edge of the bed, shoulder touching. Taehyung leaned against Jungkook's shoulder, closing his eyes. Taehyung, strange how I feel. Comfortable, like I will know you longer than a night. Jungkook, I feel it too. Another follow, this time their hand finding each other again. It wasn't urgent, it was slow, tender, filled with the kind of warmth that felt almost dangerous in its sweetness. They talked between laughing, whispering little thoughts. Taehyung, promise me one thing. Jungkook, what is it? Taehyung, don't tell me your secret tonight. Let's just be strangers a little longer. Jungkook smiled, pressing his forehead. Jungkook, alright, stranger. Then they lie down after a while, closing enough to feel each other warm. The city lights thought the curtain, their white fade replaced by rhythm of quiet breathing. The sunlight crept into the room next morning, slid across the seat, turning in his sleep. But other side of the bed was already empty. He opened his eyes slowly, confusing feeling him as he sat up. The room was silent and Jungkook was gone. On the table there was only a glass of water and a faint trace of linger in the air. Taehyung pressed his lips together, a soft edge in his chest. He whispered to himself, almost with a bitter laugh, just a stranger after all. He had no idea that fate wasn't done with them yet. Taehyung sat on the edge of the hotel bed, his hand gripping the seat tightly. The sunlight leaking through the curtains only seemed to expose his thoughts more cruelly. He lowered his gaze, staring at his reflection in the mirror across the room. His was half his hair messy from before, but what caught his attention was his faint blooming against his skin. Like, remember, he didn't want. He reached his finger over one of the deeper ones. His throat tightened. Taehoon thinking, last night I lost it to someone I don't even know. I don't even know this real word. His life nothing. How could I? A sign escaped his lips, trembling. He felt hollow like a part of time had been given away too easily. For years he had told himself that when the time came, it would mean something. It would be with someone he trusted, someone who looked into his eyes and saw his soul. But last night has been not that. It has been drink, laughter, warm that into, and before he knew it, he had crossed a line he could never return from, his chest etching with regret. Then pushed himself up, dragging his body into the bathroom. The warm spray of the shower hit his skin, but it couldn't wash away the memory. He leaned his hand against the wall. Water slid down his cheeks and whispered to him, "What did I do?" The more he thought, the more tears his eyes. He scrubbed at his skin as if he could erase the stranger touch, but his tongue pushed himself body into bathroom warm. The shower uh, couldn't wash memory. He leaned his hand against the wall. Water slid down his cheeks, and later that afternoon, Tehang sat in a quiet cafe, tried to calm the storm inside him. He who was poor low scarf wrapped around his neck, even thought the weather didn't demand it. Across from him, Jimin walked in cheerful as always. He spotted the and over his smile faded when he noticed his friend pale face. Jimin, Thay, you look like you didn't sleep at all. What happened? Tehang forced a weak smile. Tehang just rough night. Jimin slid into the seat, narrowing his eyes. Jimin rough? How? Don't try to brush it off. I can read your face like a book. Tehang his lips, looking down his coffee, his hands shook slightly around the cup. Jimin reached out, covering Tehang's head with his own. Jimin, hey, whatever it is, you can tell me. Tehang's throat tightened. He hesitated for a long moment before finally whispering. Jimin, I lost something that night, something important. Jimin blinked confused at first, then his eyes widened and realized, Jimin, you mean your first time? Tehang nodded slowly. Same washing over his face. Jimin lip parted, but he stayed quiet, giving Tehang space to speak. Jimin, I always thought it would happen with someone special, someone I love, but it didn't. It just happened with a stranger. Jimin leaned back. Tehang hesitated, but the way Jimin was held, no judgment, made his heart loosen. Tehang, I cleared my hand. I made him Jungkook. That's the only name I know. We talked. He was easy to talk, and I felt safe for some reason. We drink more, we laugh, and then one thing led to another. He paused, then took a breath. It wasn't forced. I chose it, but this morning I wake up and he was gone. No notes, nothing, just gone. Jimin deeply, his jaw tightened. Jimin, and now you regret it. Tehang eyes with tears. Tehang, yes, I regret giving something. I regret giving something. that was supposed to mean so much to me. I don't even know if I see him again. What if I was just a moment he all forget? Jimin received across the table. Excusing Tehang her firmly, Jimin, listen to me, Tae. What happened last night doesn't make you any loss. You are not broken, you are not ruined, you still you. Tehang shook his head. Tehang, but it felt like I threw away something. Jimin's expression softened, thought his voice steady. Jimin, you are live with it by remembering that you are more than one. Yes, it wasn't what you imagined, and yes, it hurt, but hey, that doesn't define your worth. Define it. Tehang looked up, his lips trembling. Tehang, you are not angry with me? Even why would I be? You trust me enough to tell me that that's what matters. I don't care if you regret it or not. What I care is how you feel right now. Tehang hesitated, then his cough slightly relieving the smile on his neck. Jimin's eyes widened. Jimin, he left those. Tehang noticed his cheeks burning. Tehang, every time I look in the mirror, I see them, and it just remind me I can't escape it. Jimin leaned forward, his tone gentle, and they all fade there, just like the memory will if you want it to. You don't need to punish yourself for one's choice. Tehang pressed his lips together. Tehang, but I can't stop thinking about him. The way he looked at me, the way he held me. He trailed off, unable to finish. Jimin, like it means something. Then I filled with tears again. He nodded slightly. Jimin sighed, brushing his thumb against the hand. Jimin, maybe it did mean something to him. Maybe you will never know, but even if it don't, your heart is still pure. You're still allowed to want love there. They sat there for long, Tehang figuring out every detail, the nervousness, the laughter that felt too real for a stranger. And Jimin listened, never interpreting his speech, to remind him gently that he was not alone. I felt like I don't even recognize myself anymore. I thought I was strong. Jimin, strength doesn't mean never make mistake. It means being brave to face them afterward. And you are? Then what if I can't forget him, Jimin? Then maybe you are not supposed to. Maybe Jungkook isn't finished in your story yet. You don't know what tomorrow will bring. Then playing state by word. Then you really think he might come back into my life? Jimin smiled softly. Jimmy, stranger things have happened, but even if he doesn't, you still move forward, and I'll be right here every step of the way. Tehung's heart swelled at the sincerity in Jimin's voice. For the first time since wake up in the morning, he felt like he could breathe again. As they prepared to leave, Jimin pulled Tehung into her. Jimin, don't carry this alone. Call me whenever the memory feels too heavy. Promise. Tehung hugged him tightly, whispering into his shoulders. Tehung promised. Jimin smiled against his ear. Jimin, good. Now let get you home. You need rest, not regret. And tomorrow you join Jeon Corporation, so rest well there. Tehung nodded, holding into Jimin's warmth as he could protect him from a storm in his heart, and maybe, just maybe, it could. Morning came too quickly. His mom made him breakfast, warm rice and soup, while fussing over his tie. Mom, oh, you look so handsome. Remember Respect your senior, don't argue too much. Taehyung argue? Me? I am the most polite son ever. Honey, liar. They all laugh and for a moment his nervousness erased all the company dates and reality of Jeon Corporation hit him. The glass building towards the high sail people inside Jimin was waiting for him in the lobby. Jimin, there you are, ready to sell your soul to the corporation world? Taehyung groaned. Taehyung, don't say that. You are supposed to encourage me. Jimin grinned, linking their arms. Jimin, fine. You all sign proudly. Then all those bright suits happy now. They enjoy a, a small group of new employees being guided through introduction and department. Taehyung listened carefully, nodded politely, thought his mind kept wandering. At one point, Jimin whispered, Jimin, ah, I heard, I heard the CEO himself is back today, Jeon Jungkook. He is scary, never smile. People say he can fire you with one look. Taehyung chuckled softly. Taehyung, that's just a rumor. No one can be that cold. Jimin, wanna bet? They laughed quietly, earning a glance for HR lady. Then they were told they will meet the CEO briefly. Taehyung straightened his posture. The meeting room door opened and in walked Shonku. Taehyung frozen, his breath caught in his throat. The sharp eyes, the same jawline, the cold presence. It was him, the stranger from the hotel, the man from the balcony. Oh, Chongpu. For a moment their eyes met. Taehyung's heart jumped to his throat. He touched his collar nervously, remembering the faint mark hidden under his shirt, a mark from that every same man. Jungkook, however, showed no reaction. His face was cold, calm, unbearable. He stood at the head of the table, his voice firm. Jungkook, welcome to Jeon Corporation. I expected professionalism, detection, and reject. Nothing less. The room was silent, the weight of his tone pressing down on everyone. Taehyung shifted uncomfortably in his chair, trying not to look at him, but Jungkook's eyes flickered briefly, only for a second, towards Taehyung. Nobody else noticed. As soon as orientation ended, Jimin pulled Taehyung aside. Jimin, so scary or not? Taehyung whispering, his face pale. Taehyung, that's him. Jimin, him? Who? Taehyung, the guy from the bar, the one I talked to last night. Jimin eyes widened like, Jimin, what? Taehyung him quickly panicked. Taehyung, lower your voice. Jimin whispered furiously. Jimin, you mean to tell me you flirted with your CEO and didn't know it? Taehyung ground covering his face. Taehyung, I didn't flirt. We just talk, okay? Maybe a little banter, but Jimin, this is Golden, I can't wait to see his face when you start arguing in meetings. Taehyung glared at him, but Jimin only laughed harder. By afternoon, Taehyung was placed in a department that worked directly under Jungkook overseas. His first task was to prepare a small report draft. He worked hard, checking every detail. When he handed it in, Jungkook scanned the paper quickly, then without looking up, he said, Jungkook, this is sloppy. It. Taehyung playing stunned. Taehyung sloppy? I checked everything twice. Jungkook finally made his eyes. His expression unwavered. Jungkook then checked 3 times. The room went quiet. A couple of seniors glanced up, curious. Taehyung's ear turned red. Taehyung, fine, I'll do it. He turned sharply, but before walking away, he murmured, Taehyung, cold as ice, just like last night. Jungkook's brain frozen mid-note, his gaze lifted sharp. Jungkook, what did you say? Jungkook, nothing, sir. He walked off quickly, his to stop a laugh. Jungkook's eyes followed him until he disappeared. Later, in Jungkook's office, Yoongi leaned against the wall. Yoongi, so that's a new kid. He is the one from last night, isn't he? Jungkook didn't answer, continued to type. Yoongi, you are pretending not to know him, but your eyes gave you away. Jungkook, he is reckless. Yoongi smirked. Yoongi, or maybe he is just the first person who dared to talk back to you. Must be refreshing. Jungkook didn't reply, but a faintest flicker of thought crossed his face. After his first exhausting day, Taehyung left the building. Later, he signed again, leaning against the bus stop pole, still embarrassed about the sleek black car pulled up nearby. The window rolled down. Jungkook's voice came from inside. Jungkook, get in. It's late. Taehyung blinked. Taehyung, what? Jungkook, I'll give you a ride. Taehyung hesitated. Taehyung, why? So, you can criticize my sitting position too? For the first time, Jungkook almost smiled. Jungkook, just getting. Against the better judgment, Taehyung slid into the passenger seat. The car was silent except for the low hum of the engine. Taehyung with his hands. Taehyung, you know, it was me, didn't you? From last night, Jungkook, I stay on the road. Jungkook, yes. Taehyung, solo. Taehyung, then why? Why you pretended like a stranger today? Jungkook, because in this building, I am your boss, nothing else. Taehyung chest tightened at the coldness of the word, but then he noticed grip on the steering wheel firm and almost tense. Something told him those words weren't the whole truth. The car ride was quiet after Jungkook was in this building. I am your boss, nothing else. Taehyung stared out the window, the city light flashing past. His chest felt heavy, thought he didn't want to admit. Why? Finally, Jungkook pulled up near Taehyung. Jungkook, we are here. Taehyung unblocked his seatbelt, pausing for a moment before opening the door. Taehyung, you can act like a whale all you want, but I know you are not made of ice. He stepped out before Jungkook could reply, his finger disappearing into the quiet street. Jungkook sat there for a long time, his hand gripped the steering wheel until he turned pale. The following weeks was a storm of emotion. Taehyung tried to focus on work, but every time Jungkook entered the room, his heartbeat tripped. Jungkook, on the other hand, kept his voice firm and cold. During meeting at his gaze lingered on Taehyung more than he wanted to admit. Jimin noticed everything. Jimin, you know, he is staring at you, right? Taehyung hissed under his breath. Taehyung, stop. Stop. Jimin, I swear, if look could soft, you will already be melted butter. Yoongi teasing from Jungkook's side too. Yoongi, for someone who doesn't care, you check the intense report with usual details. Jungkook shot him clear, but Yoongi only. One evening, the department had a welcome dinner for a new employee. It was a restaurant filled with chit-chat and laugh. Taehyung sat with Jimin on food while trying to avoid looking across the table where Jungkook sat silent and unreadable. The senior manager raised his class manager to the new employees, work hard and you all here. Everyone cheers. Jimin whispered, Jimin, drink tea. You need courage. Taehyung, courage for what? Jimin, to face Mr. Iceberg over here. Taehyung rolled his eyes, but after a few sips, his cheeks warmed, his tongue loosened too much. When someone asked how his first week was, Taehyung blurted. Taehyung honestly thought my boss is impossible to please. The table went silent. Everyone's eyes turned to him. Jungkook slightly. Taehyung realized too late. Courage nervously. Taehyung, strict, which is good for improvement. Jimin choked on his drink. Try not to laugh. Yoongi overheard his mouth, clearly assumed. Jungkook leaned back, his voice calm but sharp. Jungkook, if you have complaints, Mr. Kim, you should bring them to me directly, not to dinner table. Taking a little far back before thinking, maybe if you smile once in a while, no one would complain. Caps went out the table. Jimin had his forehead. Jeongi nearly sipped out his drinks, but Jungkook didn't get angry. His lips deepened on a smile. So finish your food. The tension broken replaced the awkward laugh. Taehyung ear burned red. When dinner ended, Taehyung stepped outside to get fresh air. The night breeze cooled his cheeks. Suddenly a voice came from behind Jungkook. Do you always speak before thinking? Taehyung turned, settled. Jungkook stood there, hand in his pocket, expression unbearable. Taehoon, oh, only when I drink. Jungkook, you are brave when you drink. Taehoon, or stupid. Silently get Taehoon finally signed. Taehoon, I didn't mean to embarrass you. I just wish you would act like the whole world is battlefield. Jungkook studies him quickly, his voice lower now. Jungkook, and what if I don't know any other way? The answer pulled Taehoon's heart. For the first time, he saw something behind Jungkook's cold eyes, a kind loneliness. Taehoon, then maybe let someone teach you. Their eyes locked, the air heavy with unspoken words. After the night, things changed. Jungkook was not suddenly warm, but his note was Taehoon softened just barely. He gave a word instead of harsh. He paused longer when Taehoon spoke in meeting, and once when Taehoon left his notebook behind. Jungkook personally brought it to his desk, shocking everyone. Jimin whispered, Jimin, if this wasn't, I don't know what is. Taehoon whispered back, Taehoon, shut up. Yoongi teased Jungkook in private. Yoongi saw Mr. Iceberg is melting. Jungkook is Yoongi, or maybe you are finally alive. One evening, Taehoon stayed late at the office working on a report. The building was almost empty, quite except for the sound of his typing. Suddenly, a shadow fell over his desk. Jungkook's still here. Taehoon looking up. I wanted to finish this before tomorrow. Jungkook leaned against the desk across arm. Jungkook, you work too hard. Taehoon laughed softly. Taehoon says the man who never left the office before midnight. Their eyes met this time. Jungkook didn't look away. Jungkook, Taehoon. Taehoon breathed fast at the sound of his name in that low voice. Jungkook, that night at hotel, I shouldn't have let it happen, but I can't stop thinking about it. Taehoon's heart pounded. He stood slowly facing Jungkook. Taehoon, I can't stop thinking either. Just be real with me. And for the first time, then what's Jungkook leaning, closing the almost a whisper. Jungkook, you make it hard for me to stay cool. Taehoon stepping closer, eyes soft. They begged Taehoon back his hand slightly, but his heart certain. Week later, things were different. Jungkook was still serious at work, but not cruel. He gave Taehoon space and always keep him close. One weekend, Taehoon brought him home. Mom over Jungkook offering food. Honey giggles silently at his sleeves. Honey, are you really a boss? Jungkook donned his voice softer than anyone accepted. Jungkook, yes, but don't tell anyone. Sometimes I get nervous too. Taehoon laughed, his eyes swelling at the side. His two words, family and Jungkook, bleeding together. Later that night, they walked back at home from the bus stop. Taehoon nudged him playfully. Taehoon, see, you survived my family. Jungkook smiled. Jungkook, barely. Your sister introduced me more than my board of directors. Taehoon, get used to it. You are stuck with us now. Jungkook then reached out his finger with Taehoon. A gift from certain Jungkook that doesn't sound so bad. Taehyung, his hand smile on that night sky. I told you you are not made of ice. And for once, Jungkook didn't argue. He only smiled. A real Taehyung had been waiting for.